everybody, welcome to the show. You are watching Klaus to the Heart, and I am Jason Klaus. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this and to support the show. And if this is something that you dig and you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button and get the notifications when a new episode drops. Obviously, a lot has happened since the last episode was uploaded to the YouTube channel, locally, nationally, for me personally. That is the strike of the UAW against General Motors. And anybody who knows anything about me knows I am an employee at the Flint assembly plant for GM, and with that comes the privilege of being a member of UAW Local 598. Whether you support the strike or you don't, it's obviously one of those things that you can't help but take notice of, because it affects thousands upon thousands of people across the country, and in some cases across the borders. And we can sit here all day long and talk about the pros and the cons, good and the bad, with the strike and everything that results from it. But I don't want this to be an incredibly long episode, so what I would like to do for the first segment is focus on something pretty miraculous that took place this past Sunday, September the 22nd. A movement was called upon to have all UAW members and their families converge on the respective union halls for Solidarity Sunday, and spend good few hours of the day on Sunday walking the picket line. I hadn't really seen at this point a whole lot of pictures or news or anything from other locals in other states, but what I can attest to was one of the most incredible things that I have ever been a part of, and that happened here in Flint, Michigan. Thousands and thousands of people lined Van Slyke Road and in a show of solidarity, and my God, the response and the atmosphere and everything that was associated with that day, it could not have been any better in my opinion. There was such a feeling of unity that I have never, ever experienced. And it was one of those things that, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what your background is, people from all walks of life converged on Van Slyke Road in Flint, Michigan this past Sunday. And it was the most incredible show of solidarity that I have ever seen. It was one of those things you had to, at different points, just kind of step out and just look and take it all in. And it was incredible. It was an incredible statement made by some incredible people who are sacrificing a whole lot to fight for what we feel is right. And I would like to commend and congratulate and offer my every ounce of respect that I have for all of my brothers and my sisters that took part in this thing, the leadership of the union that has, I mean, in some cases, I would imagine that they feel like they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders. And in my experience, you know, and this is just my opinion, and this is my experience. I don't think that we could have asked for better leadership at the very top of our local, you know, Ryan Bahalski and Eric Welter are just two incredible guys. And the admiration and respect that I have for them, as well as the other, you know, representatives of our union, the committeemen, and you know the officers and you know these people, just amazing. And the fact that we as one were able to pull something like that off and without incident is my without major incident, simply incredible. And I was so proud to be a part of that. I was proud to have my family there to be a part of that too, to experience that. It was just very emotional, very motivating thing to be a part of. And it's things like that that prove that we can all get on one page at one time and fight for one common goal. And when that happens and you make a stand like that, just proves a show, just goes to show that the UAW is a force to be reckoned with. And that was on full display this past Sunday, and I'm so proud to be a part of the UAW in general and Local 598, you know, more specifically. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, it was just something incredible. If you have not seen any of the pictures on Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, I don't know how you haven't seen it. You know, go check it out because it was really something to behold and a very powerful thing to be a part of. So, with that being said, we are going to take a quick break. I'm going to put in a shameless plug, and then we'll be back with more of the show right after this. The Michigan Wrestling Organization presents Tricker Slam 2019, featuring the triple threat main event for the MWO Championship, when Jason Abasher Klaus will defend the title against Old School Rick Cartier and Jeremiah J. Hughes. Catch all the action of the annual Spooktacular on Saturday, October 5th, beginning at 6:05 p.m., exclusively on OrionONTV.org. Welcome back to the show. You are watching Klaus of the Heart here on YouTube.com. Thank you so much for watching. Coming back from the break there, I wanted to, I don't know, maybe shed a different kind of light on things for those who may not support the UAW strike against General Motors. You know, I remember a time when my neighbor who worked for Buick, I remember when I was younger, he had gone out on strike, and I didn't understand anything about it. And the way it was presented to me, probably through the media or hearing other people talk or whatever the case may be, I had a negative light on auto workers and specifically union members. You know, as I got older, and I had friends who were current employees with GM, specifically at the Flint Truck and Bus, I had started to get a better understanding, as to what the union was all about and why it was so important. So when they last went out on strike, over a decade ago, I had a better understanding, although I didn't really grasp the concept of it, I guess. I remember thinking, yeah, these people probably deserve everything that they're asking for, and I would really like to have a job like that, but be that as it may. Now, with this being my first time in a strikes situation, I came in to the plant in 2012, spent 4 years as a temp before I got hired in 2016. This is my first time dealing with anything like this, and I now have a clear and understanding as to why this is so important. Not just because it affects me personally, but I can see how important the union, as well as in some aspects, the company, and what a major influence it has on this entire country. And I think a lot of people who may not agree with the strike, a lot of times, more often than not, I believe it's because they don't understand. They have a misunderstanding about what the union is fighting for and why it's important, because they have been given, heard, or believe false information that unfortunately a lot of times is reported by what is deemed as reputable news media. And some of the things with this strike, within the first day, they started reporting these facts and these figures and what we were being paid, and all kinds of other exclusive information that could not be further from the truth. And it's difficult to try to get people to understand why this is important.
Oh, hey, pal, I'll take it from here.
Perhaps I can put things in better perspective. Let's have a little bit of story time. Let's pretend for just a moment that you have had a friend for quite some time. Somebody you may have worked alongside with. Someone you may have trusted to some degree. And let's say one day your friend finds himself in a little bit of trouble and needs some help. So what does he do? He calls upon his buddy, someone that he can rely on, someone that he is counting on to help get him to a certain level of success. So what he's asking is, he wants you to sacrifice a whole lot in order to help him get his head back above water, with the promise that you would be reimbursed and paid back at a later date when they were back on their 2 feet. So not only do they get back on their feet, they're now flying above everybody else, racketing profit after profit after profit, yet the promise for reimbursement has yet to come. And here's something else for you to think about. Imagine you woke up one morning and you found yourself in a dire health situation and you needed to go to the hospital for emergency treatment, only to find out when you get there that your insurance has been cut off all overnight. What do you do when you're a person who relies on medicine every single day to maintain a healthy way of life? What do you do when you go to the physical therapist to do the exercises that you need to do following an injury, following an accident, following some major surgery, only to find out that you no longer have insurance? Imagine
that you have gone to work every single day for the last 4 years, have stood side by side with men and women who are doing the same job that you are, but are making twice the amount of money that you are. Imagine coming into work every day, working harder more often than not on the worst jobs, and only getting half of the benefits. These people deserve a raise. These people deserve a bigger share of the profit. These people deserve affordable health care, and by God, these people deserve a path to permanent employment. That, my friends, is what we are fighting for with this strike against GM. See, and I can understand why some of you have a bitter taste in your mouth towards the union, because that's what's been reported by reputable media. Some of the information could not be more false than what it already is. Essentially, false information leads to false resentment towards an organization, and that comes after bailing out one of the biggest companies in the world. The fact of the matter is men and women go into these plants every single day and break their bodies down building quality products for the American people. Now, I can understand and I can appreciate why some of you have a misconception about the union, because an era ago, things were not shown very favorably against union members. I'm here to tell you that that was then and this is now. What happened then does not happen now. You've got people coming in every single day, breaking their bodies down to produce quality vehicles, to produce a quality and safe product for my family as well as yours. It's a lot more strenuous. It's a lot harder work than some of you may understand, some of you may comprehend. It would be easy to sit in an office all day long and type on a computer instead of having to do actual manual labor. So I can understand why you don't know what you're talking about. Everything that a UAW member is fighting for and asking for is something that they truly deserve, something that they have earned through the hard work and the dedication and the sacrifice that they have shown for their employer. All we're asking for is a little show of appreciation for all of our hard work and everything that we have done to make our employer as successful and profitable as it is. It's times like these that people tend to forget about all the good that a local union does for their respective towns, their cities, their communities. Fact is, the UAW is very involved in charities and nonprofit organizations and things to improve their respective towns, cities, and communities. So before you go slamming the UAW on social media, why don't you do yourself a favor, take some time and learn actual true facts instead of bias and opinionated pieces that make their way to social media. Learn the facts before you start running your mouth. That way you don't look as ridiculous. And to my brothers and my sisters, I would say this to you. Make a point, make an effort to represent not only yourself, but your respective union as professionally as you possibly can. Keep that in mind every time you're walking the picket line. Keep that in mind every time you walk into an establishment, because you represent the UAW. You represent your local and your other brothers and sisters. So to my brothers and sisters, I would say this: solidarity has never been on better display than it is right now. We are doing incredible things, and it only continues each and every day that we have to be on the picket line. So for those who may not understand the union, may have us in a negative light, understand this. No amount of disdain or hate or anything of that nature is going to deter us from fighting for what we believe is right and for what we think we deserve. Because after all, chances are that vehicle that you're driving was made by our blood, our sweat, and our tears. And make No mistake about it. We are union strong. We are one.